Welcome back to episode 104 of the Schmozone Podcast. I'm Helen Yee with Helen Yee Sports, and my co-host is
Dave Schmulenson, the Schmo. You open the show. It's a special show, episode 104. This episode is dedicated to Helen Yee Sports.
I feel very honored and grateful. I'm normally sitting next to you, so I'm not used to sitting across from you.
I wanted to actually sit in that seat, but by the time Zane, who's mixing the show, was sitting down getting ready, I just had to be lined up for this camera, and it worked out for you in that show, but glad you're starting.
Wait, so why did you want to sit here?
I just wanted a different feel for the room. It's already a nice different feel that it's just you and I doing a podcast.
Yeah.
We haven't done this. Maybe, did we do this during the pandemic?
Yes, and I believe in the very beginning. Remember our first show ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so
wow, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a while, but I feel like we have a lot to catch the fans up on
100%.
and the audience. So,
and we always say we just want to have a normal conversation between us two. It's so hard because we're always so on. We're always working all the time. And I want to use this show to dedicate, for starters, Helen, first placed, first competition back. 163 girls competed, and it was a real event. It wasn't a master's level event for those familiar with swimming. It was an event that you get points for, your team gets points for. November is when Olympic qualifying trials opens up. So this was just a test to get back in. First event in 16 years, Helen gets in first place. And she gets a better time than what she's ever had before. And she pretty much just leaves and picks up right where she left off back when she was 14. And within 2 seconds, time-wise, of Olympic qualifying trials time. And I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you. Well, everyone knows that it's not just like you going out there and competing. It's obviously the support system, and I mean, just a lot that went on 16 years ago when I last competed, you know, with support systems and whatnot. So, I mean, it's nice to be surrounded by just great energy, obviously, like yourself. And I couldn't have done it without your support, without my strength trainers, because back when we first started, or you actually asked me because you were begging me when we first started dating, like, oh, I really want to, you know, every day I need to sweat and I need to get in the
sweat equity every day.
Yeah, and you would beg me, remember? And I hated working out. I wasn't working out for close to a decade and a half. I hated it because I was so burnt out from, you know, when I was 14 years old and forced to quit swimming. So it was nice to be back. It was hard to get back in shape. But, yeah, thankful for the support system, the strength trainers, and it felt nice to compete again. I feel happy.
Well, you never wanted to leave this chapter open. You always wanted to finish what you started, and now you gave yourself the opportunity. You've dedicated everything. You made all the sacrifices. Glad to do it with you. We both make sacrifices for each other and with each other every single day. I love you very much, and I'm not surprised.
Well, I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. You
right.
know, I feel like there's so much more because I quit at such just a weird age. You know, I was like so young at 14, and you see a lot of athletes go on to college and compete. And, you know, just like how their bodies developed, and then strength training, lifting, because when you're that young, you know, when you're like a quote age group swimmer, it's like we couldn't really, you know, lift weights or do things that I can do now at 30. And it's been a lot different now, I guess, but in a good way. And all I care about doing every time that I wake up every day is just what can I do to be closer to my goal, my childhood dream of qualifying for Olympic trials. And ultimately, my competition now, now that I'm 30, and I mean, I guess in swimming years, I'm quote old, but I don't care because I don't feel 30. I feel literally just like where I left off.
Real quick interjection,
Yeah.
but when we went to Narrow Force 1 and we got the testing done,
Yeah.
your biological age was actually that of someone who's 26.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was because I literally did not do anything for over a decade. Like, I hated working out, and I wasn't, into a lot of like I never drank much or anything. I literally just sat there. After I lost weight from 217 pounds, because when I first quit swimming, and then, yeah, got kind of depressed, gained a lot of weight, couldn't stop eating. But I guess, yeah, to get back to your point, it was, yeah, nice to be back. I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. And I feel like the only competition that I face every time I compete is just myself, because I just want to be better than I was yesterday. And I'm confident that every day I can be better than I was yesterday.
And I think that's such an important human emotion that you experience on the highest level, and I experience every day, is how can I be better tomorrow than I was today?
Yeah.
And it just gives you a purpose, and that purpose, you can find happiness. We both have found in what we do and what we like to do and what we do with each other. And here's the Schmozone Podcast. So above all, practice what I always preach and we always preach, but we don't talk about it, we be about it. And you worked, no one else worked for you. You put in the work, and I've always been a firm believer of let your actions speak louder than your words. And if you have the power to change things, if you don't like things, you can do something about it. You weren't going to live the rest of your life just abandoning the dream that you had when you were a child. I knew, you knew that now was the time, and here we are.
I have to admit, I was extremely out of shape. You remember the first time you took me to the park, and I couldn't even do a hang, or you're like, oh,
Yeah.
do a pull up, and in my mind I'm like,
not
no
even
problem.
like a little circuit, like calisthenics.
Oh, I was dying.
Not even like jumping rope.
Yeah. I was so out of shape. So honestly, I didn't know I could come back, but like I said, having the proper support system, the people that surround you, and having people that believe in you through the days that you may not even believe in yourself. I think that was really important, because you always encouraged me and held me accountable. Even, like I said, in the beginning, it was rough getting back into shape. Like, I couldn't even hang on the bar for like 3 seconds, and I was so exhausted. But having like your support, I think that's what's making the biggest difference this time around. And I think just being older now and experiencing a lot in my life. When I was a younger athlete, I guess I used to psych myself out. Mentally, I lost the mental battle first. And I was worried about, oh, who's my competition? Who's this? Who's that? But you were just telling me going into the swim meet, like, who cares if those girls are 16, 17, 18? Like, who cares? Because your only competition is yourself. And that every time I swam, when I swam in the prelims, qualified first, my competition was me. When I swam at night against all the fastest girls, the competition was me. It wasn't them. And just having the right mindset, I think, helped a lot.
I don't think you can truly get to become the best at your craft if you don't have the mindset, why not me? Why can't I be the best? And if having that is such a self-fulfilling emotion, that it's great that you feel that. We feel that.
I know, like, you've had to experience very similar things.
100%. And to me, it's the next best thing, because my dream was always, as a child at least, to be a professional athlete. Yeah. And when I realized that probably in my teenage years, a couple of years after you quit swimming, or around that same age even, that dream wasn't going to happen, okay, what's the next best thing to do? talk about sports for a living. So the dream was to do whatever I can. The motto, the mantra, wake up every day, talk sports, and make people laugh, entertain people. And the Schmo was, for anyone who isn't familiar with it, like created because nobody gave me a chance. I created it to prove a point that even playing in character, I could still do it even better than the people that were doing it, quote, taking it seriously. This was their job. It's just I felt that when it came to humanizing athletes, when it came to giving the fans what they want to hear, showing the personalities of their favorite fighters, I thought that in a self-deprecating way that the character would be the best way to go forward with it. And I feel like every day I prove through time that without the support of anybody except for you, essentially what networks, organizations, companies have dozens or more people on a team for, even if it's half a dozen, that's still 3 times more than you and me. But we don't complain and we make it happen.
Exactly. Because no one gave you a chance, and having that chip on your shoulder is actually like a benefit. It can be a positive, because it is for me.
What's more empowering? Know that you did this all by yourself. You did this swimming thing all by yourself without a coach.
Yeah.
Without a coach. All with your own mind power and, of course, some strength training. And you could still even get stronger. You will get stronger. Yeah. You get stronger every week.
Well, it's only been like, 3 months that I've been training or strength training after surgery. So.
And that was a major surgery, a major decision that many people wouldn't do because you make the sacrifices necessary to achieve your goal.
Yeah, remember 2 surgeries actually.
Yeah.
I was one of the lucky ones that it didn't heal the best, but anyway.
The price you have to pay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm willing to do what it takes because how things left off when I was young, I mean, it went through a phase. It went through, I didn't understand what was going on. I was so young I was depressed because all I knew how to do was be an athlete, like how to set goals, work hard, and achieve goals. And then I guess I lost my identity after that, then got burnt out mentally and physically, never wanted to work out again. And then now I'm finally motivated again, 16 years later only.
It's never too late.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like you said with Neuroforce, it's like, I don't feel 30. I mean, yeah, my face, I might look it, I might look 40 or 50 to some people, but like physically, I don't feel like I'm much older than I was. I feel stronger.
Yeah. Well, also shout out to Elliot, all of his workouts.
Yeah. His
garage, the safe haven. That we went from the park to his garage somehow during the pandemic.
Well, because I think the audience should know, you're such a great boyfriend and you try to train me in the beginning, but I was so out of shape and you could be a little mean. So, because I know it's tough love, but it's like you have to remember, I wasn't exaggerating when I said I never worked out.
So, rather than fight with you, I did the wise thing and found someone I know that could do it significantly better than me. Yet I can learn from this person because I don't know everything. And we found Elliot, and he's been great.
Yeah, he taught me how to do a squat because I've never lifted
form.
Weights in my life.
And he perfected your form.
Yeah, how to do a squat.
Your range of motion, too.
When I first started learning how to do pull-ups with the thick bands, he would put 3 of them.
Yeah.
And remember I used to always ask you, is this going to really help me be able to
And I would tell you, yes, 100%, a million times over, because the way he had you, the progression he had for you to build the strength, you didn't take any shortcuts. You built a solid foundation, full range of motion, perfect form, and that's why you are where you're at now and will continue to improve.
Yeah, so I'm
and
grateful.
Brian, who
yes.
I'm not there with you on that.
Yeah, Brian's been awesome too, and I actually did my first real pull-ups without bands with Brian. I remember the first time I could do it, I was like, really? It was such a cool feeling. I don't know. I feel like this really makes me happy. And this, now I understand, life happens the way it's supposed to happen. I mean, there's nothing you could do to change things that have happened, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity to once again pursue my dreams, because I feel like I'm more motivated now than before, and with a different outlook and mindset. I feel like this time I'm just going to have fun.
So there's more swimming competitions coming up over the next few months where Helen will make the decision of how she wants to handle it. Just follow along. I imagine she's going to vlog about it, put it on her YouTube channel, as she should, the journey. But we'll definitely, our actions are going to speak louder than the words. Like, you'll see it more than you'll hear it,
Yeah, and I definitely didn't really want to vlog about it during this time, just because, again, it's like putting the training in, but then, like you said, not having a swim coach. So
just reflect on this journey. It's so inspiring for so many people out there. And I think at bare minimum, you just got to keep a log of it. And one day you're going to want to reflect on it.
Well, it was also kind of embarrassing, just so out of shape, and then thinking like,
I've seen worse.
but it's like, oh, my dreams to qualify for the Olympic trials, but I can't even hang on a pull-up bar right now for 3 seconds.
But I've heard, and it's still as crazy as it is. I knew you were always capable.
Yeah, I mean, now I have more belief, and I'll feel more comfortable talking about it, but like I said, during that time, it was just like kind of the unknown and the expectations of like, without a swim coach here in Vegas, just the unknown of how do I go about this? How, like, I'm used to that structure since, I was 6 years old when I first started swimming. So I just didn't really know where to start, where to begin, how I was going to do. I would just go swim leisure laps, couple laps, like 30 minutes, and, just kind of be guessing. So, but you told me, you're like, you need a starting point, so you need to compete, register for USA Swimming. So I did that in May. You told me to compete, and I was really scared. I didn't want to. It was quite the week. I already messed up by strength training the week of, so my body was like kind of beat. But overall, I'm thankful that you kind of gave me the push that I needed to just like go do it. And like you said, don't talk about it, just be about it. The audience needs to know that I feel like you work out harder than me. Like, you work out hard. I mean, are they allowed to know that?
I mean, yeah, but I think, as you know, for me, it's like I'm very entrepreneurial and competitive. Okay. And if I have to do it, I'm 100% going to do it. I want to do it, but it's got to be the right dance partner. I didn't work this hard for... you have to take inspiration from what's out there, and we know some pretty influential people that have done some big things. I could think of a couple of people right off the top of my mind where it's like, whether or not you like them or hate them, you have to be reasonable to see that what they're doing is pretty amazing. And I take inspiration from that, from a lot of people. So if I do it, dance partner has to be right.
And you're talking about a fight.
Fight, any type of combat, any type of sport. But obviously we're in fighting, so that's a given. I've offered basketball too.
Well, what about, aren't you also doing the Schmo versus the pro stuff?
That's the thing. It's like, I want to do that so much, but it's like, you saw when I've done it so much, how much of a burden it is, and just wearing so many different hats. Like, if I do the Schmo and the pro, I want to just be focused on delivering the best content possible, just focusing on being the Schmo, not the producer, the editor, the booker, like wearing all the different roles. Like, if I do it, I want to do it right, because I've done enough of them, and I'm getting into my mid-30s sooner than later, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Hey, age is just a number.
And when you do make the Olympic trials, I have to do the Ironman, so I got to hit up Paul Felder because somewhere between
Yeah.
2017, the last time I ever did 70.3, and then just not doing anything since. And since he's retired from MMA, he's turning himself into one of these top tier triathlons, triathletes, in the world. He's so good.
I know. I respect that. Look,
He's got the mindset.
100%. And because people have asked me, like, oh, when you get back into swimming, do you want to also do like triathlons, or you should do triathlons? But I'm thinking to myself, like, I hate running.
We should do at least a sprint triathlon, because
a sprint triathlon.
It's the running is small. I think the running at most is a 5K, 3.1.
But what's considered a sprint?
Like 3.1 mile run.
Okay, see, here's the difference. When I sprint in swimming, it's 50 meters. It's like less than 30 seconds. So when you're telling
what about the 100?
That's like less than a minute. It's like,
still gonna help your conditioning.
Yeah, but no. So now every time I hear sprint, I'm just like, ooh, is it gonna be done in like a minute? It's like, dang, how many miles? But I mean, I guess I'll suck it up. It's good, like, mental training.
So when you think about running, just conditioning, is 3.1 a lot? Running 3 miles?
100%. Yeah.
What's normal for you? Mile?
Yeah. A mile.
Like 7 minutes of running?
Yeah. When I swam, the 50 meter, I forgot how long it was. So the whole time I'm swimming.
How was swimming long course this morning here in Vegas?
It was good. I'm so trying to get used to the length of the pool, because I keep forgetting it's been 16 years since I last swam and did this. And when I competed, I mean, I made a lot of mistakes this past weekend, but it's fine because I love learning and improving on it. I forgot how long 50 meters is. So I'm trying to hold my breath. And then, you just see the black lines on the bottom of the pool. So it's like, okay, I'm passing one line, passing the other, and I'm holding my breath. And then I'm like, where's the freaking wall? Like, I need to breathe. And then I'm like, oh, crap, I need to breathe. So then I take a breath, and the wall's right there. So I'm like, crap. Like, I have to... I don't know. It's a swimming thing. I have to.
You got to get your timing and your rhythm. 100%. That's a great thing.
I just forgot.
So now you have your benchmark. That's why everyone's so pumped and proud for you. Like, that's why you shocked a lot of people. But your benchmark, your starting point, like, you have a lot of ways already you can correct this.
Yeah. So back to the drawing board. So this morning I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then working on how to take a breath faster, because if I need to take a breath, but ultimately, ideally, I would like to make my lungs a lot stronger and not have to breathe. Or if I breathe, it's like a tiny,
we gotta do some breath exercises.
Yeah. And probably like what you said, sprints at the park. I mean, I love this stuff. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. We could do sprints at the park. Yeah. Why don't we do it tomorrow morning?
Okay. Before we leave for Austin.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt.
I know.
I know. I feel like sometimes the harder part of like competing or athletics is the practice, the training.
Yeah. Even when I was just running when I was doing marathons, because it was just running, it's like, okay, so by the time I actually run the marathon, it's just the victory lap, because all the work I put in practicing, going the 9-milers, the 13-milers, the 16, the 21-mile, probably never going more than 22, 23. It's like that day I can wake up, I know I'll do 26.2, no problem.
How does somebody
We're
train
wired
for
differently.
That? Like, that's insane.
Running was like, when I was doing it in my early 20s, it was like very therapeutic. It was just like...
therapeutic. I've never ran and been like, wow, this is
It was like they call it the runner's high.
Yeah, I never felt that.
It was the equivalent of being high, but just doing it while you're running.
What if you have to use the restroom?
So in the very beginning stages, when you're learning how to run long distance, you may run into that problem. That's only happened to me once, maybe twice that I can remember. But luckily, I remember in college, I was doing this 3-mile loop, and I think there was like a porta potty. It was called like Randolph Park in Tucson, Arizona. And I think one time I just had to run for the porta potty. You just had to learn to time it.
So do they make enough porta potties out there that like if you have to go
during the yeah, for sure.
One?
For
Okay.
races, yeah. People are spending like $100 or something like that to enter one of these things, I imagine now. So of course they're gonna have porta potties for thousands of people that are racing.
You could tell I've never done that. Running's a different animal, and then you add riding a bicycle. And the bicycles, aren't they really thin tires?
So yeah, the my worry competing wise is always if I get a flat. How nervous I'm going to be, my heart racing, I have to go on the side of the road to change a flat tire and stuff. And when I did this in Costa Rica, I had never, still to this day, had to do it. But that whole time I was doing it during the rainstorm, it was like during like downpours, it'd rain on us. The weather was weird and humid and tropical, and so it'd rain. I was just thinking the whole time I was biking, hopefully I don't get a flat tire, because I don't know if I could have recovered from that.
So when you say you want to become an Ironman, how do you train for that?
So that's double what I did. It's 140.6 miles maybe, so 70.3.
And you don't stop the whole time?
No,
like
it's
140 miles.
So I believe
straight.
so. The half was a 1.2 mile swim, open water I did in the ocean. It'll probably be 2.4 or.
Wait, so the swim is only 2 miles?
2.5 miles for the Ironman.
How many mile run?
A full marathon, 26.2.
Wow.
And then, but that's the run's the last. The bike ride. The bike is my bike was 50 or 75 miles. So the bike is going to be at least 100 plus.
But is there a time limit, or how long does that usually take people?
There eventually is a time limit, but all courses are different. I don't know. I think probably, I don't know what the fastest in the world is, maybe 8 hours, but 8 to 14 hours, I imagine, is a range.
Oh my gosh. How do you eat?
You eat while you compete.
What do you eat?
Like, it's weird, but like
the gel
like
stuff?
gels, bars, like people do fruit, it all different shit.
Do you think people have done Ironman or Ironmans and then stopped and given up?
Oh no, but Paul Felder's now doing this stuff. We got to talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you're right. But I'm saying, and then when you complete it, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you win an award? Do you get a trophy?
You do get an award, and some people tattoo the Iron Man symbol on their bodies.
Got it. Yeah,
that's
a
huge
cool.
accomplishment.
That's hardcore. I know.
It's like an elite like physical fitness club.
It's like an Olympian. Like you're elite. You know what I'm saying? Like
there's certain. I mean, it's an Olympian.
It's different.
No, actually not. You're not an Olympic medalist, but as an Olympian, yeah, I could see that.
Or like an Olympic trial qualifier.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Olympic trial qualifier for sure.
And then like the fastest Ironman people, like the top 2 would be like Olympian caliber.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. No, that's hard. I respect that. I respect and love all athletics, athletes, sports. I love this stuff and I miss it a lot.
For sure. That's why, like, for the swimming thing, I can relate to you about, like, feeling other people, but just trying to focus on yourself. But clearly your sport in racing and being the fastest, like, I know what swimming hard feels like. I can only imagine how hard. I that's not my forte,
Well, look, we all have our own things that we're great at.
Yeah.
And that, we've been doing for quite some time. I first swam when I was 6 years old,
Yeah. No,
6 to
I've
14.
always been a good swimmer, but I've never been like a race type swimmer, like a lifeguard like swimmer. Like know the strokes, can get there pretty efficiently and faster than most people, but not like racing fast.
I just love competing.
Well, yeah, I just never
Yeah.
thought swimming was that. I mean,
Yeah.
when we competed on the pickleball court, you saw what went down.
Yeah, you did beat me. It was down at Ruka. Shout out to Coach Jason Perillo. He's awesome.
Yeah, and he beat your buddy Luke Rockhold that day when we were there.
Before we interviewed him,
Before you interviewed him? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was before I interviewed him.
Yeah, because he played him after I interviewed.
Yeah. That was a fun day.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of fun days ahead.
Yeah, like in Austin, a lot of good fights coming up. So we have Austin, Texas. And then next week.
Yeah, next week.
Maybe, should we surprise people?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
surprise people.
And then we'll talk about it.
And then International Fight Week.
That's going to be great. That's going to be really great.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff planned. So we'll surprise people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just want to say that I greatly appreciate everybody's support. And it's been very overwhelming, to hear everyone's support, especially for me getting back into swimming after all these years off. And so many people have left so many nice comments, and it truly means so much to me. So thank you guys so much. And I promise, I'll do a better job of trying to vlog things and give you guys a behind the scenes look of just my training and preparation to achieve my childhood dream of qualifying for the Olympic trials. And of course, I appreciate David's support because you are the one that encouraged me to exercise again.
For sure. But most importantly, you believe in yourself. And that's what it comes down to. And you have what it takes. And then you have the self-belief and you're making it happen. And all these people will tag along when they see it. And your actions will continue to speak louder than your words. And, you're going to prove it all. And you're going to get what you want. And here we are.
And all you can do every day is just try your best. And try to be better than you were yesterday.
Make sure you follow Helen Yee Sports. Episode 104 of the Schmozone Podcast. We are out.